here to discuss the so-called flying saucers. Air Force interest in this problem has been due to our feeling of an obligation to identify and analyze to the best of our ability anything in the air that may have the possibility of threat or menace to the United States. In pursuit of this obligation, since 1947, we have received and analyzed between 1,000 and 2,000 reports. There have been a certain percentage of this volume of reports that have been made by credible observers of relatively incredible things.
We saw a came flying over their heads, put down 3 little landing gear and landed right out on the dry lake bed.
Our visitors, the aliens, have they come to us, and all the evidence is yes.
We saw a bright light appear in the distant western skies, and it got closer and closer.
A new study finds Yakima has one of the highest UFO reporting rates per capita. Chanel Smith joins us live in the studio. Chanel, why so many UFO sightings?
Christine, the study was released by Popular Mechanics. It shows by county the number of UFO sightings reported from 1947 to 2005. Now, Yakima County ranked 4th among small cities with 227 sightings, and King County was 2nd with 621 reported sightings among major metro counties. One Center for UFO Sightings found there was an increase in areas near military training zones. Now, there is a training reservation in Yakima, which could be one of the reasons. But I talked to the director of the National UFO Reporting Center, which has been in Seattle since 1974 and recently moved to Lincoln County. He says it's more important to report when you saw a UFO rather than where, because according to him, UFOs can travel very fast.
A report of a UFO sighting from a police officer is often considered highly credible.
Reverend just received a call from Highland PD. Reference to a truck driver just stopped in and said there was a flying object in the area of Lebanon.
It's a joke, right?
No, this is not a joke.
10-4 now.
In this case, in southern Illinois, the UFO was seen by 5 police officers.
Be advised, there's a very bright white light east of town, and it keeps changing colors. It's heading westbound now. Matter of fact, if the shadow officer looks up, they can probably see it by now. 2550. I see something, but I don't know what the heck it is.
I happened to look over and saw this large floating object that was just moving very slowly. It was probably about a field in length. It had 3 underneath it.
I was driving eastbound on Highway 50 when I see the UFO, if you will. I first thought it was probably a bunch of helicopters flying in some type of formation.
It was unlike anything I have ever seen before. You could see the lights, and you could see something that they were attached to, and it was shaped like a triangle.
I'm freaking out. I'm like, what the heck is this? I duck into the left turn lane here, and I stop right about here.
I wanted to listen to see if I could hear any type of engine noise. I could not hear anything. I tried to look again at the UFO, and it had already gone behind these trees.
I put it in reverse to back up a couple seconds to see if I could reacquire it again. By the time I backed up and tried to see it, it had moved at least a mile away, if not further. That quick. I was just astonished. I didn't know what to say. I was speechless.
Police officers, pilots, people from every walk of life, seeing lights and objects no one can identify, maneuvering in ways that no one can explain. Experiences that can make even the most skeptical person consider the possibility.
It very well could be an alien ship.
Concerning UFOs, Clifford Stone had a spotless military record until the summer of 1986, when his Army commanders found out he was writing a book about UFOs. From that point on, Stone says, his life became a living nightmare.
If you have an interest in UFOs and you're writing Freedom of Information Act request and writing various senators, then there has to be something wrong with you. So they set me up for a mental health evaluation. Upon my return from seeing the legal advisor, they had already moved everything out of my office. I'd been relieved of duty. They set up an office for me down in the basement. I was not to have any contact with any of the other cadre. As a matter of fact, the other cadre was said that if they were seen talking to me, that they would be in trouble. They were talking court-martial.
Stone says he developed several high-level military sources who convinced him the cover-up is real.
My executive officer who started all this called me in. He told me, he says, what difference does it make to you if we have 50 captured saucers? My response to him was, and I remember this to this day, sir, you have the luxury of not knowing the truth. Unfortunately, I do not share that same luxury.
I was contacted by Ms. Marcia Smith, who was the director of the Science and Technology Division of the Congressional Research Service. She asked to meet with me, and I met with her, and she informed me that President Carter, upon taking office in January of 1977, held a meeting with then the Director of Central Intelligence, who was George Bush Sr., and demanded that the Director of Central Intelligence turn over to the President the classified information about unidentified flying objects and the information that was in the possession of the United States intelligence community concerning the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence. This information was refused to the President of the United States by the Director of Central Intelligence, George Bush Sr. The Director insisted that the President, in order to have access to this information, needed to have clearance to contact the Congressional Research Service, to contact the United States House of Representatives Science and Technology Division, to have them undertake a process to declassify this information, because the DCI suspected that the President was preparing to reveal it to the American public. The Congressional Research Service Science and Technology Division, under the directorship of Marcia Smith, was contacted by the House Science and Technology Committee and instructed to undertake a major investigation of the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence and the relationship of the UFO phenomenon to this. I was contacted by Ms. Smith and asked, in my capacity as General Counsel to the United States Jesuit Headquarters, National Social Ministry Office, to see if we could obtain access to the Vatican Library, to obtain the information that the Vatican had with regard to extraterrestrial intelligence and the phenomenon of the UFOs. I pursued that with the permission of Father William J. Davis, the director of the National Office, and we were refused access.
Class. About 30 minutes into the process, he said to me, in a very distressed way, by the way, we've discovered a base on the backside of the moon. And then he proceeded to put photographs down in front of me, and clearly in these photographs were structures, spherical buildings, and towers.
For the first time in history, one man is coming forward with tangible evidence that he claims is proof of an alien intelligence visiting Earth. Dr. Roger Lear is a surgeon from Southern California who has been performing operations on patients for over 30 years.
So far, 8 surgeries have been performed, and with the 8 surgeries, we have removed 9 objects. The commonality, of course, is that all the individuals are subjects of the alien abduction phenomena.
Dr. Lear described some of the extraordinary findings discovered during this amazing surgery.
There is no portal of entry. There is no evidence how the object got inside the body. Then when we look at the soft tissues that surround the object, we find there is no inflammatory response. This is impossible, because anything that enters the body should have an inflammatory response. And then thirdly, they are surrounded by a large number of nerve proprioceptors which are not anatomically correct.